definitively say.
Like I've said before, I mean, having grown up here, I mean, I can remember Dino's and Zion's being at Dean's Emporium and Wingett's, and these are places that are empty now that I think we ought to be able to do something with. And I honestly don't have an answer for you as far as the historical preservation ordinance. I wasn't aware that we didn't have an ordinance for historical preservation. But I think it's important to talk to those that have that interest and that have those wants and desires, and let them get involved and have them bring ideas to the city council and have them help us make this city better.
Historical preservation boils down to pride and ownership. If you allow things to get run down, you don't have enough pride in your town, you don't have enough pride in your building, or you don't have enough pride in your house, then there's a problem. There are ordinances that regulate this. Planning and zoning talks about historic preservation in some of their areas. We've done some things for historic preservation. But one of the things we talk about is bringing in new business, as you're all talking about, and where are we going to put it? One of the issues is it's actually cheaper to go in here and build a new building than it is to go back in and bring one of these older buildings up into code. Okay? What we need to do is we need to address that, and by a case-by-case basis, based on what business it is, how many employees they're going to have, how many employees they're going to take from the city as opposed to bringing them in, and we could do things in regards to tax breaks and things like that. The city has the power to do those type of things. So historic preservation, it's up to the individuals, and it's up to the community as a whole to address it. And it's just pride and ownership. Be proud of your town. Be proud of where you live. I mean, I'm like the poster boy for preservation. A 145-year-old house is nothing but a money pit. But people drive by, and there's a lot of people in this, even here, that took piano lessons and those type of things. They like seeing it. It's a good thing.
Let's see. We are perfectly situated along I-15 with downtown only 2 minutes from either exit. We talked about some issues with downtown and getting that cleaned up. But otherwise, what tourism strategies do you think the city needs to try to get people off of I-15 coming into Fillmore to see what we have?
All right. I-15, the reason people use the interstate is to get from point A to point B. Generally, we need to have some interest, either advertised on the Wasatch Front or south of here, to have something here for people. We have the racetrack out there that just has changed ownership. It will be a draw if people will come and ride their motorcycles, motocross on that racetrack. The golf course, I have a lot of friends that go back up and down this freeway. I know it's on the other exit, but they do stop and play 9 rounds. They like the course from Main Street or from the freeway, and a lot of them are intrigued by that. To get them into downtown, we might just have to put a roadblock up or something and turn them in, because I don't know how to do that other than some advertising or something like that. So that's about all I have.
Well, I think we're working on tourism and the county and the city quite well as far as bringing people into Fillmore. Like myself, I was a chair for the state convention for the American Legion. That brought a lot of people in. That kept Fillmore on the internet for quite a while, because people were talking back and forth, let's have the next convention in Fillmore. They come back, they go golfing. I mean, we need to get them here to see what we do have to offer, and I think we can do that by bringing groups like that into our community, and that word will pass big time. I think it will be great. So we can bring them in, and we have one company that they're looking at right now that their motto is they want to make Fillmore a destination before they start building. So that's another positive towards getting them off I-15.
again, it's a matter of building some small businesses to bring them in. One of them I thought about quite a while back, got pretty serious about thinking about, was an ATV tour business. Buying a bunch of bikes and actually advertising up north and bringing people down. I mean, we even got as serious as thinking about maybe even building kind of another little KOA kind of a thing with a bunch of cabins, and maybe even doing Dutch oven dinners at night and stuff like that. It just kind of, it didn't pan out. I mean, I'd love to see some of those kind of businesses start here. We've got mountains, we got desert, we got everything that anybody could want to ATV. It'd be, we could really do some fun businesses with that kind of stuff. Tourism, it's not like we've got any lakes close to us. It would be nice if we did, but we don't. But we need to use what we've got, mountains and desert. So that's what I think.
As far as history goes, there's not many towns in Fillmore that have as much historical significance as Fillmore does. I mean, you look at the building we're sitting in tonight. I mean, this is it. This is the only one in Utah. This is the first state house. These are things that we should be able to use to draw people into town. And I'm sure you've all been down by Clough's Drive-In and see how busy they are. They are doing something right. I don't know exactly what it is, but maybe it's a matter of Fillmore using billboards and social media and radio ads and things of this sort to get people to stop here. We've got a golf course, we've got the State House, we've got the mountains, we've got the desert. We've got things for people to do here. We just need them to, like somebody else said, we need to make this a destination. Thank you.
Well, I know why Clough's got it. It's those French fries and those milkshakes, man. I'm telling you. They're all good answers, and they're all kind of hitting it. I think some of the things we need to talk about here is tourism is important to us. A lot of us generate a lot of revenue off of that, or that's part of our living, is the tourism here. I think we need to kind of look at signage. I mean, we start out here about 3 miles up the road and 3 miles down the road with signage. I think somewhere down the road we need to kind of start addressing the advantages of stopping at Fillmore prior to 2 miles. The website. I know we don't have a full-time dedicated person that does nothing but website, but we can really enhance our outreach to social media by upgrading our websites and getting involved in some things. And then we have the ATV Jamboree. Now, I understand that the city subsidizes that. Is that correct? Okay, but we need to probably do a little bit more. We need to get behind them early on in the course of the ATV Jamboree and make sure that they get some good publicity and some good cover and make sure people understand that we're behind it. And the same with the Arts Festival. So there's a lot of opportunities here. We just need to work on them, and we need to cultivate, a tourism group to make Fillmore a destination. The weather's great. It's beautiful out here. I really, if you really want to do something, Mary, we could put a lake right up. Sorry. But anyway, there's plenty to do here. We just got to somehow get that word out that there's lots to do. All right? Thanks, Paul.
All right. This is a question I got from a few different people. Will you take any steps in an official capacity to deal with drug problems in the community? This goes for illicit drug, prescription drug abuse, things like that.
Very interesting. I found out that there's a drug drop in front of my house, which I did not know about. It is a problem in this town, and it's becoming worse. It's a problem. I don't know if it's any worse or any better than it has been in the past. Local law enforcement do know about what's going on, and we encourage them to enforce the law to the full extent possible. We have the drug task force. As far as from me as an official capacity as a city councilman, I will encourage the sheriff's office to step it up and do their job. That's why we hire them, is to enforce the laws. And law is important. There are plenty of laws on the books. There's plenty of things going on in this town, and they do a great job. It's such a tricky culture to get into and do things with it. I don't know. It's a tough situation. It really is.
one of the things that I think is great that the city has done towards drug control, or whatever we can do as a city, is we now have a resource officer in our schools that we partnered with the county to put there as ears for the community to find out what we can find out more, that the kids need help to get away from the drugs, to help. That has been a great help. We have been talking with the resource officers, and he gives us an idea what the main problems are at that particular time. We've had him come to the city council and report there. Not only drugs is a problem, but he reported that selfies are a problem. And he explained that to us. Yeah, there's a problem, and no, we're not turning away from any of that problems. We will do anything that we can do to curb them problems with you guys' help.
It's pretty much already been said. I don't know that the city council can do a lot about drugs because we've got the sheriff's office and a drug task force who are, I know, actively pursuing the drug scene. And I think they're doing a pretty good job, but they've got a long ways to go. So anyway, that's, yeah.
Well, as I said before, everyone